in, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Happy Wednesday, midweek, and that means we are here for Flat Out Racing North America, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of an interesting schedule this week. This program we're doing tonight for our Pro-Am 1 lobby was supposed to run last night. My apologies, I did have an update on my streaming software to do last night. That came up, of course, right when I went to go live, and unfortunately it was a very lengthy update, so we had to postpone the broadcast till this evening. So welcome in, everybody, and I hope you're all ready for a really great race here from Flat Out Racing North America. Sponsors here in the series, ladies and gentlemen, GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team. Much love to both the sponsors. They've really given the drivers the drive and the ambition to really put it all on the line week in and week out for the best points that these drivers can get. So, Pro-Am 1 lobby, ladies and gentlemen. We have two lobbies with Pro-Am division drivers in the series this year because there is so many tightly close-knit drivers in qualifying. The only sensible thing to do was to make a two Pro-Am division. So, this is the first of two lobbies that you guys will see this week. Pro-Am 2 lobby is scheduled to go tomorrow night. There will be interviews available at the end of the broadcast, as long as, of course, the podium finishers, are available to be interviewed, of course, because it is late at night. So, welcome in, everybody who is returning viewer. Much love. Always appreciate you guys coming in and showing that love. We got Alex and Corey coming in with the likes. Much love, my guys. Much love. So, it's been an interesting journey today, chat. So far, we have been in Germany under some very wet, weathery conditions, broadcasting some great racing over there by the Ghost Viper Gaming crew. I had to jump straight on the first plane available and haul butt all the way across the ocean to Brazil, and here we are. So, Interlagos track. It is a very technical racetrack, as we've seen earlier on in the weekend. Over the past weekend, the guys have really had to work hard here to win these races here in Brazil. So, strategies. I mean, what can we say about strategies? The typical one versus the two stop. That seems to be the case here all series long. Now, we've seen very heavy one stop sided races in our amateur, elite, and pro divisions so far this week. And if you haven't been able to catch those races so far, they are available, of course, on the GT45 Gaming Facebook YouTube channel and Flat Out Racing North American YouTube channel as well, to view at your own pleasure. And, of course, whenever you're wanting to, if you want to, we do appreciate it. What else can we say? One stop versus two stop strategy. I lost my train of thought here. One stop strategy in the Subaru BRZ is going to be very difficult, ladies and gentlemen. The car is a little bit of a different beast than the other three cars being driven throughout the series, with the Mercedes, the Jaguar, and of course the GTR. So this car requires higher RPM to really maintain its speed, and by doing that, it means you're using a little more fuel than you may want to. So what could we see as opposed to strategies? Again, we could see a one-stop strategy here. You know, we have seen plenty of one-stop strategies in the Pro-Am lobbies this season, but this race in particular is an extra 5 laps compared to that normal 25-lap race we see. So that does add to the difficulty factor in tire saving and fuel saving. So the second part of the strategy conversation, of course, leading into that is the two-stop strategy. Now, the two-stop strategy is fantastic because you can break that up however you choose. You can take an elongated medium stint, say 15 laps, and then you can break those remaining 15 laps into an 8 and 7 soft tire stint and really send it. Or you can break it up into a 10-10-10 split. So either a medium soft soft, or a soft medium soft, or a soft soft medium, or a soft medium medium, some version of that kind of a variation of pit stop. Is it going to be the quickest way around the racetrack today? Hard to say. We have 13 drivers on field here today. We have almost a full grid here, so it is going to be a great race tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go through our drivers list here, and it is M. Moore and OBR's Raylander, who's been having a fantastic season. D. Walter, Stack and Yak, AMS Pical, who's not in the race, Indio, who I do not know if is actually in this race or not. It doesn't look like that. He is made it either. Egon, who's here. Apex is Larry Birch, who's been having a great run here in the Pro M1 lobby coming into the mid part of the season here. He's won back-to-back races coming into Brazil to see if he can complete that trifecta. We got Smoke 'em Holt, Apex is Superman, JL Salas, THG Sticky Bandit, S Haley, and EOR. And on that note of Apex is Superman, he was the driver that was on board of that absolutely blazing fast plane that came all the way from Germany here just a little while ago, as he was competing in that race as well. And a huge shout out to him with a nice top solid P5 finisher, I believe it was. So let's see what he's got for us here at Interlagos tonight for Flat Out Racing North America, and see what he can do against these 13 driver field on the racetrack today. So this race again was ran this past Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, as you can see on the graphic in front of you there. And we're just going to pop those off here for you guys just for a momento. Make sure I hit the right button. And this is where we're at. We're at round 5. We are here at Interlagos, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Almost got held up at customs. I know, right? Those guys are ruthless there, let me tell you. But hey, huge shout out to our customs workers there all over the world, making sure they're keeping their countries nice and safe and sound. Let's go Sticky Bandit, THG, says Drone. Hey, much love, everybody. All right, so let's flip you over screens. Let's go through you to the juicy. The juicy. Let's get to the juicy. Oh, hey, you guys got no video. Isn't that fantastic? All right, well, give me a moment. They did this to me earlier, too. So, one sec. Bada bing, bada boom. Problem solved. All right. Good to go. Flip that button on. Shut that one off. All right. So, on pole position here, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is Apex Racing's Larry Birch. Bonus point for Apex Racing's Larry Birch. And, I mean, always a positive when you're starting a race sitting there on pole position. THG Sticky Bandit is sitting in second place, and somehow that doesn't surprise me, ladies and gentlemen. Both these drivers have been fighting up for that top spot every week here in qualifying. We have Renegade, so new driver here in the series this week, ladies and gentlemen. Icer Renegade, he is a part of the Ice Racing team. I think it's Ice now, not Icer. And this guy's a quick driver, so new face in the field. It's going to be interesting to see how he does on his debut here at Flat Out Racing North America. We have OBR Raylander here, who's been having a fantastic season for Team OBR as well. He's been having solid finishes here all season long, and he's definitely there in the conversation as we enter the midway part of our season in 4th place. We have S. Halley here. He got moved up from the amateur division, and he's been holding his own really well here in the series as well. We've got 6th place driver here, Egon, having a good qualifying run. He's had a couple of really solid race finishes here again coming into the mid part of the season. One of those being, of course, I believe it was a 3rd place finish in round 4, if I'm not mistaken. We have 7th place driver EOR here, and that Elbows Out Racing is what that stands for. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. We have JL Salas qualifying in 8th place here. We have Apex's Superman in 9th place, and he has literally jumped out of a race car onto a plane and into a race car, so this boy has his work cut out for him here tonight. We've got D. Walters here in 10th place. We've got Smoke 'em Holt here in 11th. We've got M. Morin here in 12th, and Stack and Yak in 13th. So very nice, healthy grid here today, as we're about ready to get underway in here in Brazil. So the grandstands are quite packed here today. These fans over these racetracks all over the world really enjoying these races put on here by Flat Out Racing North America. Again, sponsored by GTR Simulators and the Apex Racing Team. You guys want to easily stay updated and quickly updated. Down at the bottom right hand side of your screen in front of you right now is the Flat Out Racing North America Instagram as well, and a good way to just stay up to date on the run in a pinch. Of course, we all have daily lives, we all understand that, and it just keep you up to date real quick without having to sit there and go through a hour and a half long stream if that's your thing. So much love, and we do appreciate all the support no matter where it is you're viewing from or keeping up to date here at Flat Out Racing North America. We've got Chris Reeves coming in with that thumbs up as well. We're just checking all our streaming connections, making sure everything is looking good, solid, right, and tight, and it is. So let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kick them tires, light them fires. It is time to go racing, and we're off. 1 red, 2 red, 3 red, 4 red, 5 red. Anytime false starts, these guys can't jump it. Ooh, long light tonight, and these drivers are off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who gets to run into turn 1. Senna S's Sticky Bandit has the advantage here being on the inside in 2nd place, but Larry Birch is going to get the good run going into the corner. Can he hold it? Sticky Bandit under pressure there from Ice Renegade. And Larry Birch is going to hold the lead coming out of turn 2 into turn 3. So our pole sitter is now our race leader here, ladies and gentlemen. Moving back through the field, we have Sticky Bandit, him and Renegade here battling very early on. Renegade's looking racy, ladies and gentlemen, in his debut. He's taking a look up the inside. Is he going to go for it? Side by side is Sticky Bandit and Renegade, and he's going to get the job done. And Raylander coming through with just the slightest of taps there. He's just going to push Sticky Bandit a little bit wide there. That's going to allow a couple drivers to grab a position there. So Egon moving up into 4th due to that little three-way battle. Sticky Bandit just dropping down to 5th place here. And he's going to defend that apex, make sure he's not losing any more position. And that's a great job there by him, as Halley is right in behind. So teammate tucked in behind here as well in 6th place. A little bit of comfort zone when you know you have a teammate in behind. We've got JL Salas here up into 7th from 8th place on the grid. Walters in 8th. We've got Superman here in 9th place. We've got Walters. Superman has just made a move on Walters, but he's on the outside here. So let's see if he can hang this out there. And it's a very tough corner on the outside, but is he going to get the run? It's going to keep side by side. I should give Superman the inside track coming around the next corner here. And it doesn't quite give him the position. So Salah's doing a great job defending there. He's going to hold on to P7 from Superman. Superman's going to tuck right back in there. In P9, so we lost the position there. Okay, I'm getting confused here. Something funny is going on. Side by side now with Walters is Superman. He's got the run coming up the corner here using a little bit of slipstream, and he's going to get the job done. So moving back up into 8th place. Now we have Flying Fox teammates EOR and Walters here battling it out between each other to see who's going to go into the Senna S's first. And we are on lap 2, ladies and gentlemen. So nice, good, clean start. Oh, and I'm not sure. I think that was a little bit of contact between teammates there, as one of them's gone around wide. And Walters there just trying not to get in the way of the moving traffic there. So that was a tough situation there. I'm not sure if that was lag that we just saw there or what happened there, but there was definitely some contact there, and one driver came out on the worst end of it. So that's the way racing goes. Of course, we'll leave the officials and the staffs deal with that if there's anything to deal with at the end of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Larry Birchstone still in the lead, and he has Renegade already chasing here in 2nd place. So Apex's Larry Birch got off to a great start, but he's definitely not running away here, as he's got some pressure from Renegade in behind. Raylander, he's now up into 3rd place there. He's in that Twitch car and looking very strong here in 3rd place. He does have Egon in 4th place, tucked right up in underneath his wing there. And are we going to see a move here? And taking a couple different lines with these two drivers, and it looks like Egon's getting a good run here. He's going in with that wide entry, which gives him a good apex. It should give him a good run out of these corners. So let's see if he can make that work here to tuck up out of this final corner and get a run on OBR's Raylanders. We're coming up this long run here. I can't really call it a straightaway. It's more of a very long corner, but it's a high-speed corner coming up to the start-finish line here at Interlagos. And Egon is going to be well in the slipstream here. He should be able just to make this move happen. So let's see what happens here. Egon is deciding what side he's going to take, and I mean, Raylander doing obviously what you would expect him to do. He's going to defend there, but Egon's going to keep him tight here and try to make him take this corner really wide. Egon's going to hold that outside line and almost got it wrong. Does a great job. He's going to tuck back in behind Raylander. Raylander, for the time being, is going to hold P3 from Egon, but now Egon's under pressure from Sticky Bandit here. So let's jump on board with Sticky Bandit here, as he's right tucked underneath that wing of Egon, and these guys have just been battling. Huge here. We have a lead change up front as well, as we see Renegade now up in the front of the race here as well. Let's jump on board and see what's going on there. He's gotten us around Larry Birch here, so, and he has gotten a gap very early on as well. He's already a second ahead of Apex's Larry Birch here, as he's just flying up the road here. So great job by Renegade, second race leader of the night here, ladies and gentlemen, already very early on in this race. This is going to be a very racy race. Raylander chasing in 3rd again with Egon here in 4th, and Sticky Band is sitting there losing a smidge of time here on Egon, and that just may be the difference in their lines coming in and out of the mid sector here. We have JL Salas. He's moved his way up into 6th place. He's had a fantastic race start for himself here, and right in behind is Apex Racing Superman as well. So just playing real patient there. Salas going a little bit wide there. That's going to really allow Superman to close up there, and he just had to back off there as he was going to almost go into the rear quarter panel. He didn't want to spin that driver, so you see him just let off a little bit there. And now we're just coming into this final corner, and you can see he's gaining a little time there, but he floated out a little bit wide under braking. That's actually going to cost him on the exit here. So Apex Superman here in 7th place. We have S. Haley here in 8th place, dropping a couple of positions here somewhere along the way, but still right there in the fight with these guys up in front. Smoke and Holt here from Flying Fox Racing. He's just a little bit off these guys here currently in 9th place. Got D. Walters' teammate just in behind here as well in 10th, and he's got Stack and Yak kind of taking a look here. He's in the slip. He's going to take the inside as it was left open for him there, and they're going to go side by side into these Senna S's here, and he's just going to slot right up in front there and keep that position, but it may look like that Walters is going to answer back there, and he's just trying to get a good exit here so he can get a good run, but Stack and Yak doing a really great job defending that move back on 11th place driver now Walters. So Stack and Yak making some moves getting up the field. We have EOR here in 12th place. And a little bit squirrely in the braking there as he went in real late on the brakes, and he had to really jam on him there to get that car to slow down for him. But he did get a good exit there, and he's starting to catch up on those guys just up in front. And then we have Mr. Morin here in 13th, and he's just a little bit off of these guys here. He made a mistake. He's got some damage on this car somewhere, so not the best of race starts for Morin for Flying Fox Racing there, but lots of racing left, ladies and gentlemen. We're only on lap 4 of 30. We're just about to start lap 5 here. Yes, sir. Let's go, fellas. Teammate, I don't have any teammates. Derek coming in with that thumbs up. Stefan coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, everybody. All right, so on board here, and it's getting very gloomy here in Brazil right now too, so the sun has kind of gone down, the clouds are starting to take over a little bit here, and it's going to cool the racetrack surface down. So I might do a couple of things here. Might put these tires in optimal running temperature as the racetrack cools down, because of course a hot racetrack does make for a grippy racetrack, but once it gets to a certain temperature it makes for a slippery racetrack, and it really eats away at the tires. So having these cooler track temperatures might help these drivers save up on their tires a little bit here as the race is progressing very early on. Again, the Subaru is a tough car to drive here in these mini endurance races. We call these small endurance races because, I mean, they're about 45 minutes to 50 minutes long. A lengthy endurance race, you know, is 6 hours, 12 hours, those kinds of things. So these are definitely mini endurance races. They do require some strategy. They do obviously require practice for them, because you need to know what the tires and the fuel and different track conditions are going to do to these cars as of course races continue on. So these drivers do spend a lot of time on track testing and tuning. So, you know, huge shout out to our staff here at Brazil and Interlagos, you know, all the guys behind the scenes, all the staff that keeps these racetracks in these conditions for these guys to race on like this. You know, all the safety measures in place with our safety barriers all around the racetrack, and of course to all the emergency crews and volunteers behind the scenes that make these racetracks move on a day-to-day basis. We can't be here without them. So huge shout out to everybody behind the scenes here too as well, because again, racing is it's a community-based thing, and even in real life racing, ladies and gentlemen, you know, these racetracks do lean on volunteers to come and help everything continue rocking and rolling. So huge shout out to everybody that is one of those volunteers out there. You know, you could be sitting here viewing right now and shaking your head and going, yes, you're absolutely right, because I mean, honestly, the racetracks can't do it without you guys. You're the unsung heroes here in racing, and we really do appreciate all the free time that you put in just because you love what you see at your local racetrack. So huge love to all the volunteers. The volunteers really are the heart and soul behind racetracks nowadays, and we can't do it without them. So Apex Superman here having a little bit of a struggle. He's dropped down to 10th place. He was up into 7th there for a while, but Stack and Yak also dropping down a little bit here, so maybe those two got themselves into a little bit of an issue. Walters in 12th and Morin here in 13th. He's just starting to come down that start straightaway, so he's got a little bit of a gap to make up, but again, lots of time here left on the racetrack. But will be Ice. This is Ice Driver Renegade here. He's flying. I believe he's an Icer driver. I mean, I'm sure the chat will correct me if I'm wrong. He must have been the one in the T1 teammate incidents. It could be. Egon coming in. Love Karen coming in with that like as well. Much love, everybody. Will be our Raylander here now up into P2. So he's having a really good race here again. Got a great start very early on. He's chasing Renegade, but Renegade is cruising up the road from these guys right now. So this gentleman has really put the time in to be prepared for his debut here today, and currently leading this race, Egon in 3rd place, and he is Sticky Bandit really starting to close up on him here. So again, maybe a little bit of strategy. Maybe Sticky Bandit's just chilling in behind, using up a little slipstream to save a little extra fuel on this driver up ahead. Maybe gain him an extra lap on this driver, gain position to it in pit lane. We are going to see at least one pit stop in this race, ladies and gentlemen. So strategy is going to come into factor here. We have Larry Birch here, drop down all the way to P5 here now. Salas in 6th place from VPR Racing. He's chasing. We have Haley here as well. And sorry, I thought that was a THG car. My bad, Haley. My bad. Smoke 'em Holt here in 8th place with EOR teammate right in behind. And then Apex the Superman tucked right in behind these guys. So he's caught up to these guys here. We could potentially have a nice little three-way battle start brewing here. Stack and Yak is just behind as well. So it can very quickly turn into a four-way battle if a three-way battle starts, because he's only about a second and a half behind these guys. And when cars start battling in front of you, that's like your favorite sight in the world as a guy chasing, because you know that's going to slow both those drivers down, gives you an opportunity to gain some time on them for free. Thanks again for covering comps tonight, my friend. Definitely going to watch them back over the next. Hey, cheers, Derek. No problem, my man. Hey, let's go. Larry says Candace. Hey, the fans are starting to pile in. That's what we love to see here. All right, so Walter's in 12th place and Warren here in 13th. And again, just a little bit off the group there. He had an early on incident there. He had some damage on that race car and still dealing with that damage. So, may see maybe an alternative strategy coming from our last place driver Warren there. Is I can't be too comfortable running around the racetrack with this damage. These cars really do require on their aerodynamics, especially on a racetrack like Interlagos, where it's extremely technical. You just need that car to be able to grip the road so you can get to maximize your time around this racetrack, because really Interlagos is about following the flow of the racetrack, using the banking and the cambering and the corners to kind of pull it like a choo-choo train right around them for you, and just maximize your exit and entry points the best you can to help out the basic really cornering ability of the racetrack itself. But Egon up at the P3 here, and he's still a Sticky Bandit right on his tail here, and Sticky Bandit's kind of starting to close in on him here a little bit. So Sticky Bandit may be thinking about getting up ahead there. Of course, they are chasing OBR's Raylander right there up in the second place as well, so there is two positions up for grabs here for Sticky Bandit, and maybe he's starting to think about that. So he's really close up. He's going to look up on the inside. He's going to back out there. He figures, no, maybe that's not the best spot. I'm just going to wait here, get a good run in that. And he does. He is right underneath the spoiler of Egon here as he's coming into this next corner. And this is a fun little corner and great entry there by Sticky Bandit. It's just going to absolutely set him up for a nice entry and exit here. But Egon gets a nice tight apex there. And OBR Raylander's right there. I'm sure he's starting to pay attention to what's going on in behind him here. He's taking a semi-defensive line already, as he's aware that Egon is in behind him there in third place. So we do potentially have a nice little three-way battle brewing here. At the moment, they're not battling, but that does give Apex's Larry Birch an opportunity again, if they start battling, to catch up for free. Moving up to our second place driver, and this is what he's looking at right now. This is what he sees in his rearview mirror and his side mirrors. He sees these two guys kind of starting to go at it behind him, and ultimately that's what he'd like to see, because that means that these guys are slowing each other down. So we do have Sticky Bandit making a move here, and he's coming into pit lane. So alright, two-stop strategy looks like it's coming from Sticky Bandit here. Egon going around, now he's uncontested here in third place. He's got plenty of breathing room. Apex's Larry Birch is coming around here as well, so he's going to continue on. So so far looks like only one driver on a two-stop strategy, but we still have plenty of time to determine if that's the case here yet tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Salas moving up into 5th with that pit stop. Haley's going to move up into 6th. EOR's in 7th. Superman has now moved himself up into 8th. Smoke and Holt here in 9th. Walters in 10th. Sticky Bandit still in pit lane, so Morin may grab position on him here as well. Depends what he takes for fuel. So the point of the two-stop strategy, really, ladies and gentlemen, is you don't necessarily save your time in making the extra pit stop, but where you do save the time is in how much fuel that you need to take in that car, because you're taking 2 pit stops. So with a one stop, you have to take a very large fuel quantity at one time, right? With a two-stop, you're only taking what you need for that next stint, which means you're probably only taking maybe a quarter or a third of the fuel that you would need compared to the one stop. So you do save a lot of time as far as refueling goes, but you do need to make that second pit stop, and that second pit stop almost, I guess in a sense, can negate that time depending on the racetrack. Now, a pit stop here for a one stop in Interlagos is approximately a minute to a minute 5 for a one-stop race. Now on a two-stop, you're probably looking at about maybe 40 to 47 second stops, and when you put those two together, you're looking at about a minute 20 seconds, maybe a minute 30 seconds. So you can see the time difference between the one-stop and two-stop strategy. But then it all comes down, of course, to the ability to drive very, very quickly and not make any mistakes. Two-stop strategy really does, in a sense, require perfection, because you're pushing to your absolute maximum limit to get the absolute fastest lap you can every single lap. Now, a one-stop strategy requires perfection as well, because every mistake costs you time, and that time potentially costs you valuable time against a two-stop strategy driver who is on a fresher set of tires trying to chase you down at the end of the day. But it just comes down to driver you know, situational racing, of course, and of course knowing your surroundings and not making those mistakes. Or, you know, remaining to hold your concentration and hit your braking points, hit your turning points, or realizing that your car is starting to wear down. We have Egon coming out of pit lane, Salas in pit lane, Yak in pit lane. So 3 more drivers coming into pit lane here. So 3 more drivers looking like they're on a 2-stop strategy here so far. And Renegade, pardon me, still in the lead of this race. So let's see what he's going to do as he's coming around to start lap 11 here. And he's going to continue on down the road here. So he may be looking one-stop race here. And let's see how far these guys that are thinking about a one-stop can really stretch these cars out on the fuel here. The best I've seen so far was 18 laps in the Pro Divisions. Out of a couple of the drivers in the Pro Division this week, we've seen 18 laps out of the cars on fuel. And that is so far the furthest we've seen on these settings, that is. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, the amateur drivers do race on slightly easier settings than the rest of the divisions, and that's because we want the amateurs to finish learning and perfecting their racecraft and, of course, enjoy the racing that's at hand. So, and because of that, they have been putting on some spectacular racing this season. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, they are definitely all for what is going down in that amateur division. Superman now up into 6th place. He's opting to go around. Smokem Holt still going around. Walters is still opting to go around. Sticky Bandit, again, that was the first driver to stop so far out of all the drivers stopping. So these guys are on pit stop cycle at the moment. Egon in 10th, Salas in 11th, Morin in 12th, who I don't think has stopped yet. He hasn't. And Stachniak here in 13th. So Morin has picked a position up just by trying to not force an extra pit stop compared to his strategy. So good on him for really toughing it out with damage, because it's not an easy task. But we do have Renegade coming up, and he's already catching up to Stachniak, of course, who has pits. So again, Renegade is out of pit stop sequence essentially right now compared to these guys. So he is going a lap down in a sense, but in a sense he isn't a lap down yet. It's really hard to explain, ladies and gentlemen. Once Renegade makes his pit stop, Stachniak should, by rights, get back on the late lap. So it's kind of a tricky situation here when that happens, when you have different strategies on the racetrack. OBR's Raylander in 2nd place, and he is quite a ways behind the leader here. I'm going to call that probably close to a 10-second gap currently right now on the racetrack, as he's coming around into the Senna S's turns 1, 2, and 3 here, ladies and gentlemen. And he gets a really good entry and mid-corner there, and great exit by the looks of it there as well. Apex's Racing's Larry Birch now moving up into 3rd place here, as we see Haley now coming into pit lane for a pit stop as well. Yeah, EOR Elbows Out Racing, ladies and gentlemen, here in 4th place. We've got Apex Racing Superman. He's going to move up into 5th now with that stop. Smokem Holt is going to come around at 6th, and he's chasing now. He's starting to close up on Superman, and Walter's also starting to close up on these 2 drivers as well. So maybe a battle starting to brew here in the mid-pack. We've got Sticky Bandit chasing these guys down as he's just entering the Senna S's there right now. Halley's still in pit lane. Salas is probably going to grab that position as he's just coming up this start-finish line run right now. But again, pit exit is after corner 1, 2, 3. It's after corner 3, in between corners 3 and 4 here. So, but 5% fuel for Halley there. So you can see he's still got that fuel can in. Morin's going to come around here now. He may even grab position on Haley here as well if he opts to stay out, and he does stay out. And Stachniak, of course, on a pit stop sequence here, so fresh rubber and some new fuel for that driver. So Renegade coming around here to start lap 13 now, and still in the race lead and still looking very strong so far. So doesn't seem like he's in too hurry to go see his crew in the pit box here right now as he's coming into the Senna S's, and he is looking solid. Great pace here, 133s, 132 pace out of this driver here. We have Raylander here in 2nd place, and he's just about a second off that pace right now, the 1st place driver in front. Larry Birch coming into pit lane here now as well. So where are we at here? About lap 12, so we're seeing a 2-stop coming from this driver here potentially as well, ladies and gentlemen. And Apex's Superman coming in right in behind here, so team strategy perhaps developing here from the Apex Racing team on track, as they both dodge into pit lane at the same time here, and almost the same amount of fuel as well. Sticky Bandit is going to grab both those spots here, so 2 free positions for Sticky Bandit with those drivers coming into pit lane. So the extra early undercut stop there, the 1 lap sooner, well in this case 3 laps sooner, paying dividends here for him, but lots of racing left. Egon in 7th place here as well, and he's made a pit stop. So he has got that position back on those drivers, and he's going to start moving up the field as these guys start driving. Larry Birch coming out right now, and Superman probably not too far behind if I had to guess. So Haley coming around here in 11th, and he should grab that spot on Superman here. Depends how much more fuel, of course, Superman intends on taking in this BRZ here, as pit exit actually doesn't come out till after they send an S's here, and still in pit lane there, but it does have Haley still in 11th place, so that tells me they're going to come out very close together here, and I think Superman is just on his way out right now, as he just pulls out up ahead of Haley here, about 3 seconds up the road. So Superman holding that position off from Haley here in 11th, Morin in 12th, Stackenyak at 13th. So Renegade, he's coming around here, and we're getting on lap 14 now, so we're almost midway into our race here today, lap 14, and very solidly in the lead. He has a very solid race lead here right now, currently on the racetrack. Got out in front fairly early, found his way around Apex Racing's Larry Birch, and he hasn't really looked back since. It looks like he's just gotten around another quote unquote back marker, some more lap traffic there that it probably isn't going to be lap traffic for much longer, because he is going to have to make a pit stop at some point during this race. Raylander here still in second place as well, has not stopped yet. Walters has not stopped yet in third. Smokum Holt has not stopped yet in fourth. Sticky Bandit is the first of the drivers to pit, so we have 4 drivers still remaining to owe a pit stop, at least one here today yet, and the rest of our drivers have made that pit stop. So Egon up at the 6th, Larry's already moving up into 7th, Salas here in 8th. We've got EOR in pit lane now here for Flying Fox Racing, getting that fuel up. Superman's going to grab that spot there, move himself up at the 9th place. EOR still sitting in 10th, going to lose that position to Haley as well, and Morin coming around here now may very well grab that spot as well. So Morin's doing a great job at recovering here so far in the race from whatever it was that caused him to fall back to the pack here. And we do see 100% fuel now in EOR's car, so he should be exiting pit lane here fairly shortly. And let's see where he's going to come out in comparison to where Morin is. Morin's just coming around the final part of the S's right now, and it's going to be quite close between these two as you see EOR coming out. And, ooh, unfortunate for him, he picks up a 3-second pit entry or exit penalty during that pit stop. So that is very, very heartbreaking for him there, as he's going to have to serve that right before the big, long, fast, sweeping corner to the start-finish line. And, ooh, Stackenyak making a mistake there as we see him just getting corrected into the S's, so probably under braking. That car just swung around on him there, and he got a little bit turned around, but he's got it back on track and moving in the right direction. So Renegade now getting around another one of those drivers, and I believe that was Morin that we just seen him get past potentially there, but he is absolutely moving up the road there. It was one of the Flying Fox drivers. There's a few of them in this division, so you know, we just go with it. All right, we're gonna do a quick little peek-see through here. We're just gonna make sure everything's working and everything's just updated now. Derek coming in with the care, Jake coming in with the heart, John coming in with that thumbs up as well. How's everybody doing? Yeah, Facebook is not doing very well today, ladies and gentlemen, so if I've missed a comment or an alert, I do apologize. I just haven't seen it. There we go. We got Renegade up in the house saying, hey y'all, stream is looking good, guys. Hey, much love, dude. Having a fantastic race so far, you are, my dude. Can't wait to see how it ends here. All right, so our leader finally coming into pit lane here. It looks like Raylander is going to follow him in. So lap 15, ladies and gentlemen, our drivers are finally going to make that pit stop, and we'll see our pit stop sequence roll through here. Now, the drivers on the 2-stop, obviously we're going to see some more pit stops, but these guys clearly looking like they're on a 1-stop strategy. So Renegade coming in with 4% fuel, you can see he was on the soft tire. Raylander coming in with 2% fuel, and you can see he was on the medium tire. So he did a pretty good job of keeping pace with that soft tire runner up front. We got Walters, who's now going to come in for his stop of the race here, and again another one of those drivers still owing a stop. He was on the mediums with 3% fuel. Sticky Bandit is going to take that lead, so our third race leader here tonight does now belong to THG's Sticky Bandit, and I'm sure we're going to see this change a couple more times here yet tonight. Smokum Holt also coming into pit lane, so that's going to put Egon back up into second place here as he's coming around the center S's right now. Renegade is fueled up, so he's actually on his way out of pit lane here, so he had a big enough gap there. He may still hold second place here On Egon. No, Egon's going to get around, so Renegade actually comes out in third place here. So that was a really great job at opening up that gap as much as he could in that first stint, and he'd come back out in P3, so he leapfrogged a bunch of these drivers with that pit stop there. So he's showing some incredible pace here today. Apex's Larry Birch here coming around in fourth place as we're just coming into this fourth corner here. And this is a tricky one. You don't want to take it too quick because if you float out wide there's all kinds of slippery, dangerous AstroTurf on the outside. And that usually results in a car spinning around, unfortunately. So got to get that corner 4 right. It's very important. Sal is here in 5th place, and this is a double Apex corner, and it's quite a high speed corner, but it will bite you too if you don't give it the respect that it deserves, ladies and gentlemen. And then we got this really hard multiple hairpin corner infield section here right in the middle of the racetrack, and this is just all about rhythm, not accelerating when you shouldn't, and just letting the car coast when it needs to coast. So you can see Sal's got a little bit on the outside line there, not the ideal line for that corner there. You definitely want to catch the apexes as much as possible through this infield sector, because that's what kind of keeps you in the banking in the corner and keeps your speed up in these cars. But still managing to hold on to 5th place from OBR Raylander here, sitting in 6th place chasing. We have Apex's Superman here in 7th place, and he is just flying up the road here, trying to get tucked back up in behind his teammate there, up in, what is it, 4th place with Larry Birch. We've got Haley here in 8th, and he's got some pressure from Walters here in behind in 9th place. And these two are very close together. He is all over the gearbox of that BRZ up in front, and he actually had to slow down a little extra there not to make contact with the driver in front. So good recognition from Walters here, as well as he realized that the driver was going in a little bit slower than he was anticipating initially, but again, made that small adjustment. Didn't lose a whole lot of time there, and he's just inside the slipstream now. It's probably a little bit of time, maybe enough to make a move coming into the first corner, but we're still on lap 16 of 30, ladies and gentlemen. There's plenty of racing left to do here yet tonight. We don't need to force that move if it's unnecessary, or if it's going to put you at risk of making a bigger mistake, and that's what we're seeing from him. He's just showing some patience, and we just see a mistake from Haley up in front there. So right there, he's going to gain that time back up. So I made a little mistake, gave it up. You make a little mistake, gave it back, and these guys are just kind of playing the chase and run right now. EOR here in 10th place, and you can see this going down. We can see Walters took a little bit of a look going into the corner there, but again, just showing that respect, staying in behind. But now it looks like this is starting to heat up, so let's jump over here. And he's going to be forced to the outside here as Haley's going to defend. And these two are almost rubbing door handles here as they come into the corner. And this is a tough sector to be side by side through. And we're going to see a potential cutback here. Does he? He does have the nose in on the inside, so let's see how Haley responds here now. Is he going to look for a cutback? And it is cut off. Walter's saying, not today, my man. I'm just going to hold that apex, and you are not going to have a way around me here. So Walters with some great battling with Haley there, and he's going to grab that 8th place spot from Haley with some great positioning of that race car, ladies and gentlemen. That was what you call a very strategic move and execution at its finest. So great job by Walters there to get around Haley for 8th place. And now with that little battle, that starts to draw in EOR a little bit here as well. So Smoke and Holt here in 11th, just coming around that final corner. Stackenyak's just getting to the final corner there. And Morin now, after the sequence of pit stops, is right there. I think he just got passed by Superman. I'm not sure what's going on there. I think that's what was the situation was there. Superman was just up ahead of him there, but Sticky Bandit flying up the road here, and as you can see there, those tires really starting to wear down on that Subaru BRZ up front with our leader here. So hello again, GT45 all. Hey, how's it going, John? Much love, my dude. Great race so far. Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies on the little burpee that slipped out there. Got Dennis Bomer coming in with the thumbs up, and Carlos Raylander coming in with that thumbs up as well. So Sticky Bandit coming across lap 19 in the lead of the race here. He is our 3rd race leader here tonight. And we got a nice little battle between Renegade and Egon here for 2nd and 3rd place. Renegade forced to the outside. Egon's going to sit there on the inside. And I know this driver pretty well. He's going to defend this corner if he feels that he needs to. And he didn't feel that he needed to there. Renegade's just going to absolutely tuck himself down to the inside line there. And he's defending against Apex's Larry Birch here right now, I believe. No, it isn't. It's Salas? I think that's Salas there in between. So I think he was just trying to get around Salas there. Apex Larry Birch here in 4th place, just coming into the Senna S's, so we got a little bit of lead lap traffic catching up to some of the other drivers on different strategies here. We have Salas right here in 5th, so it wasn't Salas. OBR Relanders here in 6th. We have Superman here coming around the Senna S's now in 7th. He's starting to close up those guys, but he has Walters chasing him down here as well. Haley in 9th with EOR in 10th. Smoke'em Holt here in 11th. Stacking Yak in 12th, and 13th is Morin. He just had an incident on the racetrack there somewhere tonight and found his way a little bit off the back of the pack, but he's done a great job at making that time back up with a one-stop style strategy here tonight. So THG Sticky Bandit on a 2-stop strategy, currently leading the race. Egon seems to be on a 2-stop strategy. I could be wrong there, but I don't think he's got 10 laps worth of fuel left in that race car to get all the way around, so I think we might see maybe a splash and dash from this driver here. Renegade's still right there. He is closing up on Egon here, and we've seen a little bit of a battle between these two drivers, but then Renegade obviously having to deal with some traffic in front, so he had to deal with that first, and now he's starting to worry about what's going on back in front of him here. He still has plenty of time in this race yet. One-stop strategy. He knows that the drivers in front are going to have to stop again at some point in this race here. And we see that our leader, Sticky Bandit, there now jumping into pit lane, so he's got his second stop underway here. So Egon's going to take the lead of the race, and he is our 4th race leader here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So lap 20 lead change belongs to Egon, so Egon now in the lead of this race. Renegade still chasing. Renegade was the leader in the beginning of the sequence of pit stops, so going to take that race lead back when Egon does either A, eventually pit, or Renegade finds his way around here. So Renegade gets a great exit through there. He takes a shorter line around the corner there, and you can see how much time he gained on Egon by just taking the shorter route around that corner there, and he's doing much of the same thing here again. He's just absolutely parking that car on the apexes, and it's just closed the door right up. Now Egon's gone into defensive driving mode, and Egon does this very well, ladies and gentlemen. He's a very great defensive race car driver, and let's see how long he can hold Renegade off here for. I'm not sure how many more laps Egon is opting to go around for, but he went a little bit wide into that corner there, and he almost opened the door on Renegade. Renegade's going to tuck back in and see if it happens again here. You can see him setting up for looking at the inside. He takes a peek, realizes he doesn't have the time to get in there, and I think there was a little bump right there from Renegade on Egon, as Egon maybe broke a little prematurely there, and Renegade didn't expect it, but both drivers still on the road chasing each other here as we're coming to the beginning of lap 21. So does Egon pit, or is he trying to stay out front here? No, he's going around again. So he is going to make Renegade get around him the hard way here. Egon's not going to give this position up. This guy is a race car driver, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to make Renegade find a way around. We're going to stick with this battle here for a minute, because this is definitely going to be a juicy little battle that's going to happen here between these two drivers. Now we're going to get into the fancy little cameras here. Now, different compounds of tires here? No, same compounds of tires here these two drivers are on. I'm not going to say which compound it is, but they are on the same compound of tires, and you can see Renegade's working on just closing that distance up under braking coming through the mid-sector here and taking shorter lines around the racetrack. Now, I think Egon has kind of grown wise to where Renegade's making the time up on him here, and you can see Egon's starting to go quite a bit more defensive on these apexes now. He's starting to really tighten up his lines around the racetrack, but Renegade, again, still making up the time on him. He left that door open. Renegade just could not get the power down to take advantage here, and he's just going to sit in behind. Some great battling here between these two drivers. Here we go. Is Egon going to go defensive here? He's going to force him to the outside. Absolutely. He's not going to give him the easy way around the corner. And he's going to go park it right on the apex here. Make sure there's no easy way around. Renegade's going to get a run here, though. Ooh, goes a little bit wide there. He might pick up a track limit penalty for that. And we're coming around the final corner. So can Renegade get the run on Egon up this long run to the start-finish line here, coming up to lap 22. I don't know if Egon can go around again. He may need to pit here, but he is having a cracking battle here with Renegade right now. No, Egon's coming back into pit lane, so there we go. Renegade just gonna hang it out here now. Doesn't need to fight anymore. He's gonna get the race lead back. He knows he doesn't need to stop again. And the nearest driver now is Apex Racing's Larry Birch, who isn't too far behind here, about maybe 3.5 seconds here in second place. But again, this driver on an alternative strategy may need to stop here again. We have Raylander here in third place, and he has a good shot here, as well as the next driver is Sticky Bandit in fifth place, and he has just gotten past the start-finish line here. He's coming up to it right now, I believe. So Egon here in pit lane, you see him filling up there. We see Sticky Bandit now just coming into the Senna S's, so he should grab that position on Egon there. Walters is just coming across the start-finish line right now. He's just coming into those Senna S's, so he should be grabbing that position there as well. We got Smoke 'em Holt here in 7th, EOR here in 8th, and he just let one of the drivers go through there. I'm not sure who that was. Apex is Superman here, half-second track limit penalty in 9th place here. And he's got a little bit of distance between him and the rest of the pack up front. Salas here in 10th place, Morin up into 12th still, Haley down into 12th here, so he's just made a second pit stop, and Stackiak here in 13th, and he's on fresh tires as well, so he's just most recently made a pit stop as well, ladies and gentlemen. So there is the rundown. Let's jump on board with our race leader, Renegade here, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy a nice little lap around Interlagos with our race leader, Renegade, in his debut here, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, a great lap there by Renegade, our current race leader. Now, fastest lap on track still belongs to THG Sticky Bandit, so he clearly has some pace here at the race today. But Renegade's still our leader here, so second time he's led the race here now tonight, and of course he was our second race leader of the night here as well, getting around Apex's Larry Birch very early on in the race, and he's really shown some strong pace at Interlagos in his first race of the season, so definitely going to be a driver that these guys need to pay attention to and look out for. OBR's Raylander, we know this driver's been solid all season long. He's been showing great racing and pace all season long here. Sticky Bandit, same thing. It looked like he was going to start to run away with it early on in the series, but then the competition just tightened up, and now he's finding himself in a really good locked battle for that championship lead. Egon here in 4th place, he's been doing quite well. Walters in 5th. Apex is Larry Birch again, back-to-back wins coming into round 5 here. He's definitely got his work cut out for him if he wants a trifecta here tonight. We got Smoke 'em Holt in 7th, EOR in 8th. We've got Apex Racing Superman here in 9th. We've got Salas in 10th. We've got Morin now up into 11th. Haley in 12th, battling with Sticky Bandit, I think that is right now currently. So lead lap traffic starting to get really mixed in here with the rest of the guys, and that is going to really add some interesting stuff here. We got Dennis Bomer coming in with a follow as well. Welcome to the Winner Circle community, my dude, much love. But Renegade starting lap 25 here, so 6 to go including this lap, ladies and gentlemen, and in command he has a very solid, I'm going to say 15 to 20 second lead on second place driver Raylander. Sticky Bandit is still doing very well here again in 3rd place, but where is Egon in this in the mix here? Egon is a little bit behind here, so right now the top 3 are in pretty good position to hold those spots down as long as they don't make mistakes. Walters in 5th. We got Larry Birch here chasing in 6th place, and he's starting to close in on Walters a little bit. So let's stick with Apex's Larry Birch. You can see how much time he's gaining on this driver here today, and or right now currently, and that's going to be a tire difference, and you can just see he's just going to slingshot past coming into the Senna S's here. But With that being said, of course, Walters does have the opportunity to try and fight back coming through the S's here, but it just looks like that the car underneath Apex Racing's Larry Birch right now is just stronger with the fresh rubber, of course, on that race car. So, great job there by Larry Birch. Going to pick up position. Next target is just up in front of him here with Egon. So he's not too far away from that fourth place driver here either. I have to see if he can make up some time and grab that position. Walter's still chasing in 6th. I mean, he's right there. He's not out of this fight yet. EOR here in 7th place. He almost got it a little wrong coming out of turn 2 into turn 3 there. And again, the curb almost creating that that swing effect in the front end there. So he did a great job keeping it together there. Smoke'em Holt here in 8th place. And Superman is in 9th. And, ooh, a little bit of contact there. Whoa, not sure what happened there. All the drivers going out wide. They're trying to avoid each other. Superman's just backing off a little bit here. That was a weird situation there, but slowing down on track, giving a position up, and he's going to suffer an immediate 2-second track steward penalty on top of that for the contact. So he'll serve that penalty, and he'll continue along his way, ladies and gentlemen. Salas here in 10th place. More in 11th. We got Haley in 12th. I can't. It's one of the two. Stack and Yak here in 13th, and he's mixed in with the leaders here right now. So Renegade is just flying. I mean, there isn't another. Where is Raylander? Raylander's the next driver behind Renegade here, and it is a very solid gap. So Renegade on lap 26, looking very strong. I mean, he's just got to get this car around the racetrack at this point, and this is a win in the bag for him in his debut here. Raylander is chasing though in 2nd, and he's looking very solid here as well today. Same thing for him. He's just got to drive it home here now, and it's going to be a podium finish guaranteed for him tonight. Sticky Bandit in 3rd place. He's having a good run here as well. So the problem is he is under undercut strategy. So is it enough to keep Egon and now chasing Apex Racing's Larry Birch from catching up? So where's Sticky Bandit and where are these two? He does have a sector of corners on these two drivers. They're really going to have to kick it into high gear, I think, to catch up to him. But you never know what's going to happen here. As again, different tires. Apex Racing's Larry Birch, he's working on catching Egon here, but Egon's not really giving up any space here for Larry Birch to catch up. Walters here in 6th place with EOR in 7th, of course. Flying Fox Racing as he's coming around the corner here. The cameraman didn't get a good look. There we go. That's a better look. There we go. Smoke'em Holt, he's in the white version of that Flying Fox livery here today as well, in 8th place, and he is being chased down by Apex Racing Superman here in 9th as well. So that might have been the two drivers that were involved in the contact there. No damage on either one of the cars either, which is kind of weird. So that does tell me that that may have been a latency issue that we saw on the screen there, because if it wasn't a latency issue with the damage on the heavy damage model that it is in the series here, both those drivers would have had some pretty significant damage. So definitely tells me that that looked like a lag issue. Just in my opinion, it's just an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. But again, we are working on a bit of a broken game here right now, and the update is tonight. Yay! Let's go update. So hopefully this upcoming round in round 6 here this week coming up at Brands Hatch starting on Saturday provides a more stable lobby situation for the drivers. So hopefully we can avoid things like that, ladies and gentlemen. We're victim to the internet when we're sim racing, and that's just the way it is. We're a victim to our equipment and little bugs and glitches and errors and the coding that happens when the games get updated digitally like they do. So some drivers suffer from them, some drivers don't. It's just a hit and miss situation. So we do with what we can, and we get back and we just continue to race. Egon here in 4th place. Larry Birch is still right there behind him. I mean, Larry has not let him get away. Egon hasn't let Larry really catch up, but Larry hasn't let him get away. Walter's here in 6th, and he's lost a little bit off the pace of those guys, but not too much. EOR in 7th, Smoke'em in 8th. Superman making a mistake there, putting on a smoke show, as he has Salas and Morin chasing him down. So now we're going to have a three-way battle here. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Sal's going to grab P9 off Superman there with whatever happened to him there. Some front end damage there on the car of Superman here as well. So he's going to have a tough remaining 3.5 laps here, but still holding out to that top 10. Lauren here in 11th, Haley in 12th, right in behind, and Stack and Yak right there. You can see with that half-second track limit penalty as well, so he's going to have to serve that. coming to the end of the lap, which is unfortunate. It's going to slow him down a little bit, cost him a little more time on track, but still there and still competing. That's all that matters. That Raylander is pretty good. Hey, yeah, he is pretty good. Hey, keep going, Chris. Absolutely. All right, Renegade in the lead, and like I said, he's in charge here. I mean, he's right in the middle of the pack essentially right now. I believe he's catching up to. I think that Sal's just up ahead of him there. So he is moving. There is no question of a doubt. He is absolutely moving. And ooh, somebody just lagged backwards there. All right, so the glitches and bugs we're talking about, that's exactly point in case of it right there. Just as the leader was catching up to him, the game decided, you don't have to pass him. We're just going to put him behind you. So, all right, that works. Raylander here in second place as he's coming into the set of S's here, and we've caught that a couple of times live this week on the stream. So I mean, you know, maybe hopefully somebody from PD is watching and seeing what we're dealing with here as we're trying to, you know, put on legitimate league racing for prizes and points here. So fingers crossed that this update tonight really sorts this stuff out for us here. Sticky Bandit in third place. Egon here in fourth, and he is on the bumper of what looks to be Halley here, and he's got Apex's Racing Larry Birch all over him now. So we definitely got a battle brewing here between fourth and fifth places, Egon and Larry Birch. There is a back marker in the middle in a sense. Looks like two back markers in between, in front of these guys as well. So this could turn out to be an interesting little endeavor here for these two drivers. So I guess the question is does Larry chill out here, sit behind Egon, hope that they can get around these guys on that final run to the start-finish line, and then battle it out for third and fourth place right at the end of the race here. This is a really tough call as a race car driver. The two guys up in front, of course, are entitled to their battle for their position as well. So we got two different battles for two different sets of positions all happening at the same point on the racetrack, but they're not battling for the same positions. Yeah, so there we go. Egon's going to take the move on the inside of Halley there, and Larry Birch going to try and take advantage there. He did tip his nose on the inside there. He just couldn't make it stick, but he is working on getting around Halley there as well. So Halley has let these two go by, so now they are working on the next guy out in front there. And Larry Birch is just going to stay in behind Egon here. He's going to ride the slipstream around here. Is he going to make a move coming into the S's? We're going to keep our eye on the leader here as he's probably pretty close to coming around on his final lap. So we're going to stick with this as these guys come into corner one, and then we're going to go jump on with our race leader here. We don't want to miss him coming across the start-finish line. So Egon going defensive. That doesn't surprise me. We've seen a lot of this out of Egon this season. He's a good defensive driver, so he makes it very difficult for these guys to really get a run on him. Larry going really short around that corner. He may pay the price for that, but he doesn't seem to pick up a penalty there, so he must have caught the stewards looking in the wrong direction, because he definitely cut that corner. And you can see Egon trying to get in the slipstream of that front back marker there, so he can use that back marker to try and keep Larry Birch in behind. But let's get up to our race leader here, and as I suspected, he's getting very, very close to the end of the race here. So Renegade coming around here in first place in his Flat Out Racing North America debut, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be victory for this driver, and a huge race win here for Renegade. Congratulations on his debut. Great race from this driver. He definitely shows that he understands this race car. And look out, boys. Renegade's in the field here now. For OBR Raylander coming around here now, that final corner. He's making his run in. And again, fantastic racing from this driver. He's going to find himself in P2 here today. So really great finish for Raylander. And I mean, what else can you say? Great job, man. Congratulations. P2 finisher for Team OBR. Boys back in the clubhouse are going to be excited about that. And our third place is going to go to THG driver Sticky Bandit. THG's been finding their way on the podium through all the divisions all season long. And there we go again. We see Sticky Bandit rounding out our podium. Larry Birch does manage to get around Egon here, and he is going to steal fourth place off Egon on that final lap. Egon very close behind in fifth place. Congratulations to both those drivers. We've got Walters now coming around, and he has one of his teammates just up in front of him there. So Walter's going to come around in sixth place. I'm not sure who that was in behind there. We have EOR coming around here now, and you can see where some of the drivers are now. So there's definitely a lot of mixed up drivers here in the field. We see Salas just came around the line there in ninth place. He must have been the driver that was just behind Walters there on screen. So we're going to stick with our seventh place driver till he crosses the line, and then we'll just continue to move down the line, because that is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. EOR is going to come around here in P7, so great job here for EOR from Flying Fox Racing. Teammate just finishing up a position ahead there in 6th place as well. Smokeham Holt also from Flying Fox Racing. He's going to bring it home here for P8. Apex Racing Superman going to round out that top 10 here today, so a good solid finish after that late race spin there for him. Stack and Yak just coming across the line there as well. Salas in 9th, Superman in 10th, Morin having a good recovery drive here in 11th place. Haley not having his best race of the season here, finishing in 12th, and Stack and Yak in 13th. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these drivers do have 2 drop rounds. So at the end of the season, their 2 worst racing rounds are going to get dropped off the standings, and then it's going to be a championship based off of your 8 best races. So 1 bad race is a-okay because you can just get rid of it, no big deal. Sticky Bandit, fastest driver on the racetrack with a 1:31.896, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to just pause that there for a second. We're going to bring up the standings for you guys. I meant to do this a little bit earlier, but we just got so self-involved in the race that we forgot to bring it up. So these are our Pro-Am 1 standings. This is after 4 rounds of racing. So after the drivers left Spain and everything was all said and done, we have Apex Racing's Larry Birch in the lead with 93 points. The THG Sticky Bandit in second with only 4 points difference at 89. We have Raylander in third, chasing with 61 points. Walters with 61 points. EOR, Elbows Out Racing, ladies and gentlemen, with 57 points. Egon in 6th with 52 points. Morin in 7th with 43. Haley coming in with 41 points. Indio with 28. Smokeham Holt rounding out that top 10 with 28 points. Now, Indio wasn't in the race, so he's going to drop positions to Smokeham Holt and Stack and Yak and possibly Apex Racing Superman, maybe even Salas, as well, as all those guys were in the race today and are going to gain points for today's race. So let's keep this into consideration here for a second. Renegade is a dark horse. First race for him. Not even in the standings yet. He's going to take a huge 25 points home here tonight. Fastest lap does belong to Sticky Bandit, plus his race finish here tonight with 3rd place. So that should potentially put him either tied or maybe just a point or 2 ahead of Apex Racing's Larry Birch coming into round 6 at Brands Hatch this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So absolutely crazy race here tonight, and huge implications for what's going to happen for the standings for next week. So let's flip you over to our podium finishing screens, and let's see how many of our drivers we have to talk to today. Wow, we have all of them. Fantastic. Love it. Well, I'll be right with you, gentlemen. Just bear with me for uno momento. We're just going to do a little bit of doctoring up, so bear with me for uno momento, chat. We'll be right back.
Like a cheater. What's full line up in the Yeah, it was a good race. I was struggling all week on whether it was going to be a one or a two stop, and I practiced both of them, and I seemed to be pretty much to the second, the same pace. So I just figured I'd just send it on the two stop, and unfortunately, the second week in a row, I've been pinched by the one stop. So they've been strong and fast, and I just can't hold these guys back.
And you know the one
And
stop is really proving to become a dominant strategy here in the series now. Obviously, when the designers set this series up, it was designed to be multiple different strategies from race to race. But you drivers just seem to figure out how to one stop these races, and no matter how quick the guys are on the two stops, it just doesn't quite seem to be worthy enough to beat that one stop. So I guess do you change your mindset moving into the last half of the season on these pit strategies, or do you just keep kind of taking it from testing and tuning week to week?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to be testing and tuning week to week. I mean, the next race is a little bit longer. It's 35 laps. I mean, I've done a little bit of testing. It's going to be another hit or miss. To be interesting to see what guys do. But yeah.
And I mean, Brands Hatch is a little bit smaller than Interlagos in distance, so at the end of the day, it may essentially work out to the same amount of fuel and tire wear consumption, but at the same time, it's a very small, tight, little technical circuit. And for you guys, I think with these Subaru BRZs, I think that actually that's going to be quite an interesting, fun little race as those cars are really going to zip around that racetrack. As of course, the Subaru is much more designed for handling than it is overall speed, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't know. And right now, the tracks on the agenda for Flat Out Racing North America definitely favoring the Subaru. So, I mean, you guys had great pace. You guys were rocket pace, just like all the other divisions here in those bigger horsepower cars. So, are you getting comfortable with the Subaru, or are you still struggling with the car a little bit? I mean, how you feeling so far as we're at the midway point in the season?
Oh well, no, I'm really loving the Subaru. It handles like a dream. She sticks to the track. It's just one of those cars. It's so tight and low. If you hit the curbs wrong or you touch the dirt, you're gone. And I find that the couple of laps I've done at Brands Hatch, if you touch the grass or the dirt or there's so many places to fall off. And I've been doing a lot of spinning, and hopefully that stays in practice and not goes over to the race. But yeah, I love the Subaru. It's a fun car to drive. It's fast, but like you say, it is a little bit slow in the straights, but she corners like a dream. It's a nice car to drive.
Absolutely, and I mean that was a really fantastic race. I mean, for the probably the last half of that race, you kind of were just doing your own thing. You were on your own. You had clean air. You were just trying to chase down Raylander up there ahead of you, and you knew you had a pretty good gap on the drivers in behind you. The only real, I guess, thing that you got to deal with at that point, of course, is you guys had incredible pace today, and were kind of caught up in the mid pack, so to speak, for the last part of that race. So how does that play on your nerves when you're getting close to the end of the race and you're just stuck in a pack of quote unquote back markers? I really hate that word, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I was screaming the last stint. I was watching the clock and I was watching the seconds, click down, and I was gaining on second place. I think I was started off with an 18 second. I got it down to I think about a 7 second. Second gap there, and lap 28, I absolutely just had a glitch in the matrix, and fortunately, it didn't get shown on the stream. But I just fell off the track. I woke up all of a sudden. I'm in the Tulies, and I was praying just keep her straight, get back on the track, and hold that third place. So I was lucky enough to do that. Yeah, it was intense. It was definitely intense. I just couldn't catch them.
Absolutely, and I mean, with of course keeping the guy you're chasing in the standings right now, a position behind you and locking down that fastest lap. I mean, going into round six, you
Yeah.
guys are only going to be separated by a mere couple points at most here. So, what's in the mindset now moving forward for that as well?
Oh yeah, Larry Apex's Larry Birch is definitely on my mind. He's right there with me. We're right tight together, and I was watching the race, and I was really hoping Egon was going to be able to hold him off, but he managed to get by him and pick up those valuable points. And like you say, we're super tight right on the. Everybody's actually tight on the leaderboard there, so it's really good, really tight. It's fun.
Absolutely. And again, just congratulations on a great race here for today. Another podium finish here for Team THG. I'm sure they're excited about that. And thank yous and shout outs, my man.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I'd like to thank you, GT, for all the comms. You do a great job. All the fans at home watching, thanks. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'd like to thank the league sponsors, Apex Racing and GTR Simulator. We got those High Prix graphics coming in. They're great too. And I'd like to say thanks to my wife and big shout out to my daughter Kaylee. Daddy loves you.
Awesome. Love to hear it. And congratulations. And can't wait to see you next week at Brant's. Well, in a couple days, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So great talk there with our second place in the championship standings coming into round five here, Sticky Bandit, and great finish for him. So he needed to finish ahead of that leader, Larry Birch, and definitely got the job done. But needed a little bit of help. He just didn't quite get it today. So we'll have to see how that battle develops moving into round six. But let's go talk to this guy. We haven't had an opportunity to talk to this guy too much yet this season. He has been absolutely flying on the racetrack all season long. Second place finisher tonight, OBR Raylander. A huge drive from you today. And I mean, all season long, you've been showing incredible race pace and consistency. And tonight, it really paid off for you in a very solid second place finish. And again, nobody really expecting to see the newcomer Renegade come in here and just throw it an absolutely huge race in his debut. So, talk us through your race. How did it go for you?
Yeah, thank you, Coach. Yeah, this race was great. I mean, I didn't have any accidents. It was a clean race. That was the goal. And I was fuel saving, charge shifting, all the 35 laps, sorry, the 30 laps. Even for the first intersector, I changed the fuel consumption to 3 and changed it to 1 into the second sector to gain some seconds on the pit lane. And yeah, it was great. And so happy to have Renegade in the lobby to help us get better every race.
Absolutely. I mean, he showed a really great pace, but I mean, not to take away from you, he did essentially do the Lewis Hamilton strategy here. For all you F1 fans out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He started on that soft tire and finished off on the medium tire. So I think really that was the big decision maker for his race here tonight, as he just opened up a really solid gap on everyone else that was on the medium tire, of course, to start the race, and then from there he just kind of just maintained his pace. But uh, was there a point where you thought you maybe had a chance to catch up to Renegade there? Because obviously, with the pit sequence being so different between the drivers, you just never know what's going to happen. You could get caught up in traffic. You could get into a little incident with a back marker. What was your thoughts as you were trying to chase him down in the last half of the race?
Well, my only thought was that he was really fast.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. At one moment, I knew that it was going to be really hard to, well, get into his space. So I was solely focused to escape from Sticky.
And I mean, you did a really great job. You were maintaining a pretty solid gap on the THG driver there. But again, on a different strategy, you yourself and Renegade were on that one-stop strategy. Where Sticky Bandit was on a little bit of a alternative second two-stop strategy. He went in quite a bit earlier than the rest of the drivers on the two-stop strategy, and it worked out for him. It got him up into positions for the podium. But when you knew you had about a 10-15 second gap on the third place driver, does that really help you settle down into the race and just worry about holding the position you've got?
No, actually, I was pretty nervous because I was closing with soft tires. Um, I'm not really good at managing my tires, especially the soft tires. The last two laps, I did it with zero tire with all the red in the radar. So it was really hard to me in the last two laps. I prefer to start with medium so I can hold faster drivers, especially when I'm saving fuel. So that was my strategy for this race.
Well, it was definitely a good strategy, and you obviously had a plan coming into the race tonight. You stuck to it,
Yeah.
and it paid off really well for you. I mean, a solid second place finish, and I mean, we've seen a very large quantity of the OBR guys come into the season, and there's only a few of you left now. But you guys are quick, and I mean, your racing is phenomenal. So congratulations, and I really hope the team back home is watching and come back for season 3 because we'd love to see more of you guys on track, putting the pressure on the boys like this. But that's a huge race, and I mean, we've been saying it all season long. You're one of these drivers to watch out for. You're a potential dark horse here in the series, here in the Pro Am1 lobby. You have a little bit of points to make up on the guys ahead of you, but you did the job today. You finished ahead of Sticky Bandit and Larry Birch, so you're taking home some very important points, and you're going to grab a good jump on these guys coming into round 6. So Brands Hatch, how do you feel about Brands Hatch this weekend?
I like Brad Hatch. It's different uh, technical circuit. I think there's gonna be a two stopper, even three. I like to analyze the length of the pit lane. So this is a fast pit lane. The pit. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really interesting.
Absolutely, and I mean, fantastic drive. It's a lot of fun watching you race on the racetrack, and I really can't wait to see what you have for us next weekend. But any shoutouts or thank yous out there, my man?
Yeah, shout out to my boy Bob Phoenix. I think he won or ended the podium in the P2 lobby. We practiced together a lot, and thank you to my wife that that supports me in my gaming hobby career, and to all my boys from the Under Squad.
Hey, cheers, and absolutely, we love to hear the family shoutouts because the family sacrifices time for us to play with our friends here racing as well,
That's true.
week in week out. So huge love to our families as well behind the scenes. But man, a huge drive again. It's a pleasure to talk to you here tonight, and congratulations on that P2.
Take it goes, and congrats, Renegade.
Thank you very much, Raylander.
All right. Oh,
Bye.
and you guys heard that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Australian accent from our winner here, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, let's bust it out. Let's talk to our winner here. Renegade coming in for your debut race here midway through the season. I mean, you're way behind on points. But if you continue to come into these races for the remainder of the season and put on a show like that, you may be in a conversation for a championship title here. So, congratulations, great debut. It's nice to see you as well again, my friend. I hope you're well. And are you still driving for the ICE team?
Yeah, I most certainly am. I'm actually co-owner with Benjo Blake. I was in the amateur race yet the previous day.
Absolutely, and he had a fantastic debut himself as well, coming in a solid. I think it was sixth place finish there in that amateur race for his debut.
He just pipped. He came home in fourth.
That was fourth. I couldn't remember. I get it all mixed up. But I mean, Ice are coming in just absolutely on fire here. That Ice is not cooled down at all, ladies and gentlemen. The Ice racing team here is here, and they are here to compete. Let me tell you. So,
Oh yeah,
did you have a proper amount of time to prepare for this race this week? I'm not sure when it was that you actually qualified to get into the division. So, talk to us about how you prepare for a race when you don't know the competition on the track, and just what your thought process is coming in for a debut like this.
Well, coming into it, I mean, given how Benjo went the previous day, my only thought process was just have a clean race and hopefully put on as good a performance as what my co-owner, my teammate Benjo did the previous day. That was my goal going into the race. As for preparing for the season, I think I literally had maybe less than a week. I think I qualified roughly about a week before the round started. So I'm preparing the car, getting the delivery sorted out. I didn't actually get a lot of track time in the car around Interlagos, but having chosen the Subaru and driven the BRZ in one of their manufacturer seasons recently, I had that because I had that prior knowledge going into it, knowing what the car can and can't do, and so forth.
Absolutely. I mean, it showed on the racetrack. You had a really great race there. We didn't see too many mistakes come out of you. We seen a little wibble and a little wobble here and there, but other than that, once you got around Apex Racing's Larry Birch, I believe it was on lap three there, you didn't really
Yeah, end of
seem.
lap,
You
lap
just didn't
three.
seem to look back. Obviously, no. I mean, Sticky Bandit had the fastest lap on the racetrack, but
Mhm.
you decided to come in with a different strategy, and let's talk about that. You know, the majority of the drivers coming into the series, they opt to start on the medium tire when you're trying to push that one stop. You decided to reverse it around and start on the soft. Was that just because you qualified so well near the front? You figured maybe
Yeah,
if you can get a good run, you can maybe pull a gap, and then at the end of the day, end up where you ended up on the podium here today.
yeah, it's generally what I do. Like, I look at where determining what tyre I start on, I look at where I've qualified. If I'm in the top four, I'll start myself on the soft tyres 9 times out of 10. Whereas if I'm back in mid pack or towards the rear, I'll change it up. I'll start on the medium tyre. But yeah, like going into the race, as I said before, I mean, I had no real track time for Interlagos, so I had no idea how long those soft tyres would last, how much, like how far I could stretch that fuel. But when I saw I was getting closer towards that 15 lap mark, I was like, hang on, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can push for that one stop. And it worked for me.
Absolutely, and I mean, at the end of the day, we were watching when we were checking your lap times, your split times, lap by lap by lap. I mean, your consistency was just incredible. The lap times didn't vary too much from lap to lap. Of course, as the tires start to wear down, of course your lap times always slow down. That's just natural in racing. When the grip starts to fall off, that means the time starts to fall off. But you really kept it nice and tight and neat together. So, I mean, it showed that you obviously knew the car very well. So Brands Hatch is coming up next week for round six, for your second round of the season. How do you prepare for Brands Hatch now that you've had a little bit of a taste of what the competition looks like on the racetrack?
Fortunately for me, Brands Hatch was also a recent track that we did in another league that I compete in, which is finished up for the year now. That was a wheel to wheel racing league. I was actually in, coincidentally enough, I was actually in the Mercedes AMG for that race, and I actually did quite well in that one too. So, I mean, it's still fresh on the mind, the Brands Hatch track. But with some testing and whatnot, I'm hoping I can make the one stop work again for me.
Absolutely, and it is going to be a lot more difficult at Brands Hatch next week because like one of the, I believe it was Sticky Man has said at the beginning of the interviews there, it is a 35 lap race. So typically we see 25 lap races here. The races are designed to be about 45 to 50 minutes long, but so depending on the
Mhm.
length of the racetrack really does depend on the length of the race or the amount of laps that we're seeing here from week to week. So a 35 lap race may actually be difficult for possibly all five divisions to really stretch that out over a one stop. So knowing that little bit of information, do you have to, you go testing and tuning both strategies and then decide just come race time, or do you just go into the race and take it as it comes?
Um, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the time I tend to just wing it. I just go with the flow and just do with what feels good for the car and what I feel comfortable in. And I mean, yeah, like it's worked for me in the past, and I mean, I see no reason to try and change it up a little bit. But but yeah, it's definitely going to need like, so I'm definitely going to need some testing on fuel strategy, whether I can push hard enough and push it far enough where I can maybe get 17 or 18, maybe even 19 laps out of it, out of one tank to push for that one stop, or do I do like 12 or 13 lap stints? Do I break it up? It's a hard one to tell at the moment, but yeah.
Absolutely. And there's just a little taste, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody watching right now over there on Facebook and YouTube channels, it's a little taste of what we have to deal with as race car drivers going from one race to the next race every week, weekend and week out, all over the world too. These are the things that go through our minds as we're preparing for the next battle. And I mean, this isn't something that takes 2 or 3 or 4 days to set in. This is immediately after these guys jump out of the race cars and the race they just finished. They're already dialing in to that next race. So a little taste of what goes through a race car driver's mind as they're chasing for points in a championship
Absolutely.
standing, ladies and gentlemen. So we always love that insight from the drivers. I really appreciate that insight. I mean, it was a great drive from you today. You looked very strong, and I mean, easily with 8-9 laps left, the fans, the viewers, myself, everybody could tell that you were very well in command of the race. You just didn't need to make a mistake, and you didn't. So at the end of the day, it was definitely good enough to put you on the top of the podium here, and a huge 25 points for you. So with that is a great start into the season. That's going to throw you right up into the lower part of the mid standings right off the bat. So, like I said, a couple more strong race finishes like that, and you're going to be in the conversation here at the top of the standings today. So, fantastic drive, great debut, and thank yous and shoutouts, my man.
Yeah, not a problem. It's my pleasure. I certainly didn't think I was like that much better than the rest of the field. Though they're all good drivers. I was just lucky to stay out of trouble.
Absolutely, and that is usually the case. Keeping the car out of trouble always helps here in racing for sure. It's not meant to be a contact sport, but ladies and gentlemen, it is a contact sport sometimes. And
Yeah,
unfortunately for
absolutely.
those cars that make that contact, that does slow them down. Even a little nick over a wheel well, if that causes a little bit of tire rub, that could cause a whole new set of problems for a driver. So,
Yeah, like it can push you a couple of tenths.
absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, huge drive from our winner here, Renegade. And anybody you want to thank, my man?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the other podium getters, Raylander and Sticky Bandit. Good drive from those guys. I'd like to thank the guys at High Pre, Apex Racing for helping put on a good series. Obviously, another sponsor that you guys have, GTR Simulator, as well as some of my own personal sponsors as well. Cooper Consultancy, personal sponsor of mine, as well as our team sponsor, Signs on Para. Also want to thank my beautiful partner. Without her, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without her. She lets me have my racing days. My daughter, my beautiful baby daughter, who sits alongside mum and watches me race as well. So, and of course, I want to thank the rest of my ISA crew for giving me the support that they do.
Absolutely, and it is really a great organization over there. Been a part of the community over there in the ICE esports organization for quite some time, and of course know quite a few of the guys over there. And it really is a great group of drivers and community over there. So much love, my man. Congratulations. Super stoked to see you come in with a massive debut like that, and cannot wait to see what
Thank
you
you
bring
very
for
much,
us
sir.
in the round 6 of Brands Hatch. I just want to take an extra second to thank all three of you for taking the extra time out of your lives this week to take the extra time and come and talk to us. So your time is super appreciated. We really do value it, and thank you so much for the great interviews, gentlemen. Have yourselves a fantastic day or evening, depending where it is you're hanging out from. Renegade all the way over in Australia, ladies and gentlemen. So it's about midday, I think, for them there right now.
Yeah, it's 1:30 in the afternoon on a Thursday afternoon here.
There we go. There we go. And there is a Gran Turismo update coming too soon, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to
Yes,
be just
that is
in
correct. 5 new cars, several BOP updates as well.
about 2.5 hours from now. Here, 3 hours from now, that update should be dropping,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. So fingers crossed, especially for us league
It
organizers.
usually hits here like at about 4 p.m. Australian time.
Yep, yeah, sounds about right. It's 1 o'clock Eastern time, 1 a.m. Eastern time on December 15th. So for those of us that are behind Eastern time, it will be on the 14th, and of course for those ahead, it will be in the next couple hours. So I really do appreciate it. Again, congratulations to our podium finishers, and huge congratulations to all the drivers on track. I mean, they all put in the same amount of work, they all put in the same amount of time, and they all sacrifice time with their families to be here to put on shows for us every week in and week out. So we do appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. You are absolutely free to speak freely amongst yourselves now as well, and I can't wait to see you guys in round 6.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting on track with you both again, Sticky and Raylander.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. It was a smasher of a race.
Oh,
Thank you,
like
thanks.
I
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So great interviews there from our guys there, and they're gonna sit there and they're gonna debrief and talk amongst themselves there. And you know what? That's totally expected. When you have great racing like this and you have great battling on the racetrack, these drivers are always excited. There's always lots of energy. There's always great vibe, and those are some great interviews. Great answers by our drivers there. They gave us a little bit of insight into how they prepare for races like this and what their thought process is as they go from one week to the next. And yeah, you got to tell you, man, as we start getting, say, round sevens, round eights, you're really going to start to hear the intensity in these podium finishers' voices. I can promise you, we're going to hear the change. You're going to hear the pressure in their voice. You're going to hear a lot of different things as the season really starts to wind down. We're only halfway through the season, and the point standings are tight across all 5 divisions. Really, it is anybody's game still early on in this season. We have Miller Time Gaming coming in with a massive raid a few minutes ago. Much love, my dude. I hope you had an absolutely blast today, my guy. Great racing over there in Germany. Really appreciate you. Miller Time Gaming on Facebook and YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute rock star this guy is. Definitely go over there and say hi from GT45 Gaming next time you see him live. Daily, ladies and gentlemen, daily. You need some racing content, look for Miller Time Gaming, folks. We have Alejandra Aguilera coming in with that like as well. We're just going to go through and catch up on anything that we may have missed while we're doing those great interviews there. We have Dennis Bulmer coming in with the follow. Of course, Alejandro also coming in with that care on the stream. Dennis Miller coming in with that double share as well. Much love, everybody. We really do appreciate everything. We're going to come over and just bounce here. Renegade going 5 to go, boys, over in Flat Out. So we have lots of good traffic all the way across our platforms here tonight. Really great job by everybody. Nice interviews, very enjoyable. Appreciate you, John. Appreciate you. Congrats, podium finisher, says Derek Nolan. Great racing. Hashtag Miller Time Gaming Rig, says Bruce Lays. Pardon me if I said that wrong, over in the YouTube channel as well. It definitely a next up mentality, man. Those 7 days go quickly between races, says Chris Reeves, aka Superman from Apex Racing, ladies and gentlemen. The drivers are just as much fans as they are drivers on the track as well, so they're always in here showing that support. Absolutely much love. Charles Nadeau coming in with the Miller Time Gaming Rate over on YouTube as well. Much love, everybody. Much love. We're going to pay the favor back. We're going to go hit Facebook. We're going to check out somebody to raid here before we shut this thing down here today. Let me take a peek at who is streaming right now. We don't have any sim racing content at the moment, or do we? No, it doesn't look like it. We have Cody B on. Maybe we'll go we'll go hit up Cody B here in a minute, chat. Well, race recap. I mean, what can we say? Just you know, division in, division out, week in, week out, day in, day out, night in, night out. We see absolutely amazing racing here from Flat Out Racing North America. To all the guys behind the scenes here at Flat Out Racing North America, honestly, you should really give yourselves a round of applause. You have put together an amazing series. The drivers really seem to be responding to it. They seem excited about it. The big time sponsors coming in, really anteing up the intensity, of course, in the battles for the points for the championships. I mean, Hyper coming in with the absolutely amazing graphics. I mean, everybody that puts this together, you really do owe yourself a round of applause, because this has been the most fun and most energetic series I have ever been a privilege to be a part of as far as a broadcaster goes. You know, you think you see everything in 1 week, and then next week these guys up the ante on the racetrack. It's just absolutely fantastic racing here from Flat Out Racing North America. I mean, I just can't express enough at how much these guys really have a special group here, a special community here, and the racing is so good. No matter what division it is we're watching, ladies and gentlemen, I can't stop thinking about it. It has just been so much fun so far this season. So we head to the United Kingdom next weekend, ladies and gentlemen, here just in a few days' time for Brands Hatch for round 6. These guys in the Pro-Am 1 and Pro-Am 2 division lobbies are going to have a blast with this race, with this Subaru BRZ. It is absolutely designed for this style of racetrack. It is a short, technical, medium speed racetrack. It doesn't have a whole lot of run room on Brands Hatch. There's just not a whole lot of big straightaways. You come out of Surtees, that is about your biggest point. You have about a 3/4 mile run, and you're right back into just technical. So it is going to be a fantastic race from our Pro-Am 1 and 2 guys for sure next week. Moving into the bigger cars, I mean, we got that Mercedes, we've got that GTR, and we've got that Jaguar. Those divisions may not have as much fun here around Brands Hatch. Those are very big race cars to try and sling around a very short, tight, technical racetrack. They're powerhouse cars. They're going to eat up a lot more fuel than necessary around such a small racetrack. It's going to be very interesting to see what all 5 divisions bring in play next round here for round 6 before our holiday break here for our racers. So definitely don't miss round 6, but we're not done with round 5 quite yet, ladies and gentlemen. We still have Pro-Am 2 lobby that will be broadcast tomorrow night here at GT45 Gaming and on Flat Out Racing North America's YouTube as well. And it will be done at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, tentatively, of course. My work day pending as always, but we will most certainly bring that race to you guys tomorrow night. And as always, we'll have the interview room open for these drivers at the end of the broadcast to come, and of course get their chance to talk to you guys, the fans. This is the reason why we do it. You guys are the true legends out there. You're the reason why this content continues, because you guys keep coming back for more, and we want to give it to you. So I mean, what else can we say but thank you for your support. Thank you for being here tonight. If you've watched this race live, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're going to be sitting here chilling afterwards and watching it, I hope you enjoyed it. Please do not forget to like and share the stream out if you haven't done so already. It's a couple free things that we can do to help the pages grow, and what that does is force Facebook and YouTube to make it reach more people worldwide. So the more likes and the more shares we get on every single broadcast here from Flat Out Racing North America, the more you're helping us stick it to the man behind Meta Business and YouTube platforms, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely don't forget to hit those on the way out the door. If you love the content, you want to continue seeing more, you're not a follower of the page, hit that follow over on the Facebook, turn on live notifications, or hit that sub over on YouTube if that's your preferred channel or platform. And same thing, turn on all notifications. Never ever miss another moment of action from Flat Out Racing North America. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring such great racing to everybody week in and week out here. And I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. We say this every night now, ladies and gentlemen. It is holiday season. Happy holidays. I hope everybody's doing fantastic this time of year. If you're not, my door is always open. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay not to be okay. Our door is always open here at GT45 Gaming and all your other favorite creators. Don't sit there and think that we're not going to take the time of day to help you, listen to you, talk to you, whatever you need, because we are. Our doors are always open. It's holiday season. That means it's Christmas parties and New Year's Eve parties, ladies and gentlemen. Some of us have staff parties. Please, 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 please. Be smart out there, folks. Don't drink and drive. Have a safe ride home. Have a cab on speed dial, whatever it takes. We want every single family, every brother, every sister, every mother, every father, every grandfather, and every grandmother to make it home for Christmas this year and have an absolute spectacular time with their family. As we get older, these moments diminish quickly. You got to cherish every little bit of time you can get with your loved ones, so please do take advantage of the holiday season, but do it safely, ladies and gentlemen. Real life is not a race course. We got to take it very strategically, have that pit strategy as we go through life, and make sure we knock it out of the park, but we can only do that if we do it safely, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you here at Flat Out Racing North America, and most importantly, folks, stay winning, because you all matter. We'll see you tomorrow night. Enjoy. Godspeed.